Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the Fly Girl podcast. You're with your girl, Embryana Faith, and this is our second episode. Woo woo. I'm so excited. And in our second episode, we're going to be talking about happiness and how we can choose to be happy despite life and what's going on around us that's just simply out of our control. I know growing up, I used to hear my parents say, and I'm pretty sure you heard your parents say, if it's not one thing, it's another. And as you get older, you start to see, okay, that's what my parents meant. It's literally always something. And I'm learning to choose my response to those things that are just simply beyond me, trying to take me out of my peace, my element, my joy. I am learning what can I really do about it in that moment. Can I do anything about it later on? Does this deserve my attention? Is this even something that I should really even be worrying about? I think for me personally, caring is where I begin to worry because caring too much is a thin line between worrying, and there's nothing wrong with being a caring person. But whenever you allow for outside things to treat you like a puppet, whenever you allow for outside things to determine your happiness, that's whenever you're beginning to care too much because you have to care about yourself first. And I'm learning that about myself because, again, there's nothing wrong with being a caring person, but it definitely is a thin line between worrying. And worrying is the attempt to try to control something that you just don't have the ability to, or maybe it's not for you to control. Life has seasons. Just like life actually has seasons. Like summer's gonna come, winter's gonna come, fall's gonna come, spring is gonna come. And I know I didn't say those in order, but they're guaranteed to come. And so is the ups and the downs. And you just have to understand, okay, everything is working for you and not to you. And a lot of times we just don't want to hear that. Sometimes we really want to choose being unhappy. And I think when we get in that state of mind, it's because maybe we grew up in chaos, dysfunction, and we grew up seeing people worry. But yes, that's unfortunate, and yes, you didn't have any control growing up in that dynamic, but it is your responsibility to say, hey, okay, I don't want to live like this anymore. Let me make those changes to be happy. And that is what they mean whenever they say happiness is a choice, because it's all up to you at the end of the day. I know I am learning myself, and I'm learning, okay, well, I do really put a lot of priority on an emphasis on things that I'm trying to achieve and on people that I care for. But you can't control people, and you can control your worth ethic. You can control how you show up. You can control the steps that you're taking to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. But you have to understand that it's all in divine timing, and you have to practice patience. And the way that I'm able to practice patience is by practicing mindfulness. And it's a little uncomfortable at first because you have to be present, and it's so easy to get caught up in the future and putting emphasis on, okay, well, whenever I get that new house or that new job, or whenever I get the relationship, whenever I get the kids, I'll be happy. But even whenever you get those things, it's still going to come with its own challenges to maintain, to upkeep. And there may be moments of discomfort that maybe you would deem negative or unhappy, quote unquote, but it's all up in how you decide to respond. It's all about in the steps that you take, if there's any steps that you can take to maintain. And that, whenever I look at things in that perspective, I'm able to apply it into my present and say, okay, there was a time whenever I wanted to be here, and I am here, and there are troubles of its own in being here in the present, but I'm still going to enjoy it because there's a past version of me that worked very hard to be here. And another thing with life is that it's going to get better. I know people really hate hearing that, and I think people who hate hearing that just aren't ready to hear it, and that is fine too. But that it's true though. It really does get better. You have to allow it to get better. You have to allow it to unfold, and you can't give up on yourself, because if you give up on yourself, then you are accepting the fate of, okay, it's not going to get better. And I don't know what kind of fate that is for you, but that ain't the fate for me. And I hope that's not the fate that you choose for yourself, because you can choose a different route. It's all up to you and the decision and the perspective that you are allowing yourself to make and to see. It's it's like the GPS, whenever you're getting rerouted because it's a wreck on 85 and it's making you late to work, and you can sit up and you can dwell in and be upset and unhappy and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late to work. I'm so upset. My boss is going to be so upset. But as long as you're taking the necessary steps to say, hey, let me reach out to my boss, let me stay present on this road and understand I know that I'm going to get there. And maybe at the time you don't know it's a huge crash on the interstate, and then you get to work and you're on social media on your little break and you're saying, you see, oh my gosh, I avoided an incident. And that's how you have to look at your life, to not look at redirection as rejection. I mean, yes, it can be that, but redirection is honestly a good thing because it's refocusing you to, okay, this is the route, this is the way, and this is what I need to deal with. This is what I need to overcome in whatever ways that you can. And you can't really put so much pressure on yourself with trying to resolve. I know you could be a fixer or you could be a planner. I know I am. So when things are not going the course that I envisioned or that I find ideal, I can get upset. But I am learning to control my response and say, hey, okay, this is happening for me, not to me. This is aiding my character. This is aiding me as a person in my perception and in the way that I view life, because yes, it's unfortunate. Yes, it's redirection. Yes, it can be deemed rejection. But what in this moment can I do to still achieve or to figure out what is next for me? And giving myself grace in the midst of figuring it out, because you may not have the answers immediately, but you have to trust in yourself and say, hey, I know myself well enough to know that I have it in me to figure it out. I have it in me to not let this overwhelm me. And you really get to that point whenever you get to know yourself as an individual, because I am a person who cares a lot, and caring a lot, like I said at the beginning, is a thin line between worry. I just told you guys that I am a planner, and I had to figure that out by getting to know Brianna and saying, hey, these things are good qualities to have, but do not let this be your downfall. Because you can make your own plans, but what if that's just not for you? And you have to be very, very open-minded. You have to be very optimistic. You have to be very hopeful, and you have to be very in faith with God, in faith with life, in faith with yourself, and say, hey, okay, even if I can't see it now, I know that I will later. Let me be patient. Let me not be overwhelmed. Let me choose happiness. Let me still go to the gym. Let me still go out to eat with my friends. Let me still cook myself a nice dinner, pour me some wine, and watch my favorite movie. Let me still go pick up those flowers, because even though you're having an unfortunate thing going on, maybe it's lasting longer than you thought, you can still choose happiness in the midst of that. You can still do things to make you feel good, even though there's things that you can't control that are trying to make you feel bad. You're not someone's puppet. Okay? You're not. So stop letting yourself be someone's puppet. This is real life. You ain't no doll. So you need to really check yourself and say, okay, even if this is not ideal for me, in what ways can I show up for myself? In what ways can I choose happiness? And only you know what is really going to make you feel better, and what ways you can do nice things for you to celebrate you even in the season of uncomfortability. I know sometimes all it takes is looking good. I know when I look good, I feel good. And you are projecting energy of, okay, attracting. Whenever you go out into the world and you're putting your best foot forward and you're saying, hey, I'm going to show up as the best version of myself, not just on the inside and in my mindset, but on my appearance too. People can say, hey, that person right there put a lot of effort in themselves today. Let me give them a compliment. Let me uplift them. Smile. Maybe you need to be the one uplifting other people, even though you're going through an unfortunate season or an unfortunate day that is trying to steal your joy, trying to steal your peace. You have to be able to do those things. And maybe you can't do it right immediately in those moments, but with practice, it really does become easier. I know I was someone, whenever you say it gets better, I'll be like, girl, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't get it. You ain't trying to get it. But no, they did get it. They just had grasped another level of life of, okay, it really does get better. Don't stress. You can be upset. That's okay. But don't show it. Don't dwell in it. Try to get out of it. Get up. Keep pushing. Get moving. And that's really what you have to do, because if you let it win, it will really throw you off of alignment for yourself. Another thing that I'm learning is how to pivot and learning how to use the resources that I have currently in order to get me back on the route that I need to go. And what I mean is, okay, I told you guys I'm a planner. I'm going to use this small example. It was big to me. It may be small to y'all. But on my birthday, I had pre-planned my outfit in February, and my birthday is in April. And I had a wardrobe malfunction. And an old version of me would have said, okay, my outfit is not working out. I can't get it fixed. I'm just going to cancel my plans. But I was able to pivot in that moment and use the resources that I had available, which was to change into a different outfit, still enjoy my friends, enjoy the food, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the energy, enjoy the drinks, and enjoy my birthday, because life is really short. I'm not going to let a thing, an unfortunate event, determine my outcome of a day that I put a lot of effort into. Yes, it didn't go as planned, but it went the way that it was supposed to. I still got great pictures. I still enjoyed my loved ones. I still have those great memories for that great day. So did I really lose out? Did you really lose out? And you have to have that mindset of, okay, yes, that's a small example, but in that moment, I was honestly able to clap for myself, because I do put a lot of emphasis on birthdays. I do put a lot of emphasis on my appearance, because I do like to show up as the best version of myself. And I said, I had a little aha moment, a full circle moment. And I said, girl, you dealt with this real good. Look at you, girl. Look at you pivoting. Look at you not letting circumstances overcome you. You fine. Oh, you bad. And you have to be your biggest cheerleader too whenever you see yourself growing, whenever you see yourself changing, because only you know how long and how hard it took for you to get here, because there are so many people who are unhappy and who have said, okay, there's nothing that I can do, and they're stuck. Do not allow for yourself to get stuck, because you're never stuck. You just have to learn how to pivot. You have to learn how to use the resources, the tools that you do have, and make it work for you. I just gave y'all a great example. I had something in my closet. I knew I had an outfit, and I said, okay, we'll just get that dress fixed later. Sometimes it's not meant for you to fix in the moment. It's meant for you to put it down, enjoy, and fix whatever it is that you can, which is yourself. You can always choose you. And that is what choosing happiness is. And you really have to see if there's something in you that's not allowing for you to be happy. Like, do you think that you're not deserving? Do you think that you're not worthy? And where did those train of thoughts come from? Are those even your own thoughts? And I know it could be easier with a therapist, but let's say you don't have the resources to get a therapist. I know journaling really does help. I know having a good confidant, a good friend really does help. A good mentor really can help. Even TikTok is a really good resource whenever you get to Googling. But I also, too, don't advise always trying to figure out the whys. I like to figure out the tweaks and the resolve that we can make in order to choose to be happy. Because you do not want to be caught up in a cycle that you did not choose for yourself just because, okay, this is all that you know. Because if someone has projected those thoughts onto you from an early age, it can be hard to reroute your mind, but you definitely have the capability to. It's like whenever you see certain famous people who tell their story of the teacher who told them that they were never going to be successful. Well, if they let that be their true definition of themselves, then would they have achieved what they have achieved now? No, but they were able to say, hey, they don't know nothing. I know me. Let's get to going. And it's really just a project of yourself. That's what choosing happiness is giving yourself grace, giving yourself the opportunity to get up as many times as you need to. Give yourself as many breaks as you need to. And that's where really character comes in, because trying to be better is good character, because being better is in the action, is in the effort that you put forward. And that is choosing happiness, because you know, hey, even though what I'm going through is hard, it is unfortunate, I'm still going to put the foot in front of the other, and I'm still going to put my best foot forward. It's like going to work and your coworker is giving you a hard time and they're trying to make you quit. Are you really going to let them win? Or are you going to say, hey, I am going to be the bigger person. I'll speak. I'm not going to sit over there and get them to like me, because I know me, and I'm going to do what I need to do at work. And maybe when you get home, you need to apply for a different job, because maybe that's God trying to say to you, the time is up, there's something better. Or maybe it's a test too, to add to you, to say, hey, whenever there are people who I may not like, I can respond in a way that serves me and not respond in the way that they want. Because then if you respond in the way that they want, in the way that they're antagonizing you too, you are letting them win. You are relinquishing your happiness. You are becoming a puppet. And I'm pretty sure we can all think back on a time where we have relinquished our happiness and became a puppet. But do not let that be the definition of your happiness. Do not let that be who you are. Do not let them win. You have to win. And it's in the mindset, it's in the perception, because I could easily look back on my life and dwell in the past and say, oh my gosh, all those unfortunate events where I relinquished my happiness and decided to be unhappy is who I am. But I am able to pull back and say, okay, I learned from that, and I'm able to apply that. Because some things too that we go through is not solely for us. And we are meant to share, we are meant to talk, we are meant to uplift, and we are meant to help others. And I find so much beauty in that, because that is spreading love, and that is the sole purpose of being alive, is to love, whether it's romantic or platonic. And whenever I have those full circle moments of, oh my gosh, I'm being used right here in this present moment to help someone else because of a previous experience that I experienced, that I had to endure. And I was in that moment back then saying to myself, oh my gosh, well, why am I experiencing this? And now you understand why. It was to aid you as a person, to get you to learn from it, to then to be able to help someone else. And isn't there so much beauty in that, to see, oh, it wasn't for nothing? And you have to just let life unfold and not try to speed it up and rush it up. Because like I said at the beginning, you have to be able to assess the situation and say, hey, okay, is this something that I can fix? Is this something that I really can control? Is it? If it is, you really wouldn't be worrying about it, because you would be able to say, oh, okay, I know the solution to that. I'll fix it now, or I'll fix it when. And you're sitting up in here trying to figure it out, and it's not for you to figure it out. Maybe it's for you to walk away, whether it's the relationship, whether it's a friend or a romantic partner. You can't control them. And if you're allowing for them to control your happiness and to say, okay, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket and let this define me, I'm going to try my best to fix them, you're saying, you're telling yourself, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy of being happy. And that's not cool. That's really not cool, because all the effort that you're putting into them, you could have put into yourself. And it's really up to them to put that effort in. It's really up to them to show up in the way that you need or the way that you deserve. You can't control people. You can control your response to people. Boundaries is key. Boundaries is a big key to choosing happiness. And that doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you a very self-aware person. That makes you someone who knows yourself. And it's so important, again, to have those moments of and say, okay, what am I doing in my life to self-sabotage my own happiness? Are you putting too much emphasis on people? Are you putting too much emphasis on things? Are you? Because I know sometimes we can see things on social media, especially because it's 2024, and we can say, oh, that's what happiness looks like. But happiness looks so different for each individual. And you have to be okay with your life, because then you're relinquishing your power and saying, hey, I'm not going to be happy until I'm like them. That's crazy, because you ain't gonna never be them. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. You was in a trance. You was in a trance. What they be saying? You were in the what's that movie, y'all? The Matrix. You're trapped in the Matrix. Don't be trapped in the Matrix, because that's what they want you to do. You can't let the world define happiness for you. You have to get to know you and define happiness for you. And it can be different in each season of your life, because we're growing, we're changing. And that's where they say sometimes you can grow out of people, you can grow out of places. And that's where self-discovery comes in. And yes, it can be uncomfortable. Nobody said that it was going to be easy, and no one said that it was going to be fair. And you can still love and you can still appreciate things in your past and still be able to move forward. You can love and appreciate things in your past and say, hey, I am thankful for that experience, but it's come to an end. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Again, that is what they mean by choosing happiness, is looking at things on the brighter side. It is so easy to count out all the negative things. It takes a really strong person to sit back and say, hey, I'm going to pick out some positive things as well. And even sometimes I know when they say, okay, we'll laugh about it later, we can't laugh about it now. It's the same thing with whatever it is that you're going through. You're not going to be able to understand why now, but you'll understand later. You'll be able to be thankful for it later. It's like the first heartbreak that you go through and you think that it's the end of the world. You think you're finna go home and meet Jesus Christ himself. You possibly even thought, oh my gosh, I'll never get over this. This was my person. Where do I go from here? But whenever you allow for your life to unfold, you're able to say, oh my gosh, I got over that. And whenever you begin to date again and you begin to figure out whatever it is that you do like in another partner, and let's say that situation doesn't work out, you're able to then say, hey, I know how to get over this because I had that experience before in the past. Or whenever your friend can be going through a really tough breakup, you're able to give her tips that you were able to use because you went through that. And it's so much beauty in the full circle moment. And you can't have the victim mentality. And it's so easy to get in that. It's so easy to say, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? This is where you have to choose to be happy and say, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? In what way can I get out of this cycle of victim mentality and these unfortunate events? Because again, sometimes we can be so used to being unhappy. All we are doing is attracting unhappiness in our life because we are stuck in this loop. We are stuck in this mindset. We are stuck in all that we know that we have normalized for so long. But you're unhappy in the midst of that. You're unhappy by choosing that. So which one do you want to choose? I know my principal growing up, he would say this every single day. And when you're a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, he's so repetitive. But I'm thankful for this message. He would say, make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. I might have failed an English test, which I never did. I was a straight A student. But for the sake of this video, let's say I failed a test, okay? I failed a test. Am I going to go into math just because I failed English and say, hey, I stayed up all night studying math, I'm just going to fail math too and make this an even worse day? No, I'm not. I'm not going to choose that. That's not my fate. That's not the mindset that I have. I'm going to say, darn, this sucks. I need to try a little bit harder. You're able to assess that test and say, hey, I got this one right. I got that one wrong. I need to re-study this one. I know that I know this one. And I'm going to go into math and I'm going to do my best in math. And then, okay, you get the grade for that and you got 100. because you didn't allow for that one unfortunate event throughout the day to define your whole day. And then you go home and you watch your favorite show with your friends and you enjoy the day because you decided, hey, I'm going to make this a great day. I'm going to make this a great life despite things. Because again, one thing that we can see exactly from life itself, which is a great example, is that winter is going to come, fall is going to come, spring is going to come, and summer is going to come. So yes, the season that you're in right now may not be ideal, but better days really are ahead, and you have to know that without a shadow of a doubt. Because if you don't know that, then you stuck in the loop and you're choosing to be unhappy. And then don't nobody want to be around nobody unhappy all the time. Don't nobody want to be around someone who is stuck on a constant loop of negativity. Don't nobody want that. And then you're isolating yourself in the worst way. And then you are predicting your future and saying, hey, I'm just going to keep living an unhappy life, because you are becoming unhappy and you are projecting unhappiness, and no one wants to be miserable because you're miserable. But the saying, misery loves company, is very true. So do not let that be you. And if that is you, say, hey, okay, well, what can I do to get out of this loop? What can I do to get out of this mindset? Because you really do have the tools. It really is inside of you. You probably really do know yourself better than you've let on. At least I know that's been the case for myself. And I was able to really check myself. And you have to be honest with yourself if you want to choose to be happy. Like my old principal used to say, the choice is yours. Make it a great day or not. Make it a great life or not. Y'all, that's it for today's episode. I'll see you guys next time. You're with your girl, Brianna Faith. I'm out. Stay fly.